Have you ever wondered what a Mk1 Escort Camper looks like? Me neither, but whether you like it or not, you're going to find out in this video. And here it is. This is a Mk1 Escort Dormobile Camper, and this is a 1968 model. These were made in very limited numbers. I'm not sure on the exact numbers of how many are left, but they are super rare. Look on Google and you'll find only a handful of them on there. So here you join me at my workbench, and I'm actually looking at this, which is the ignition barrel out of that Escort. I had to take it out because the key actually got jammed in it, and that sits in there and is retained by this little pin in there. So I've taken it out, as you can see, and as you can also see, the key is out of it. We even bought a new ignition barrel for it, but I've just discovered in the back of here, I'll try and get that up so close to the camera, in there, we can see that bit of that key now. I'll take that key out. Was this bit stuck in the end from this old piece, not that key, that key there, it got jammed in there years ago, and there's still a piece of it stuck in the end. So I've actually don't need that, because this one actually seems to work, which is brilliant. Put that back in there. There we go. So yeah, back in, and that turns and the key comes out. So I shall use that and put that back in the car. Let's get this battery reconnected. And now I'm going to try and fire this baby up with a freshly charged battery. This hasn't run since last weekend, so I'm going to give it a cold start and see how we get on. Just got to wedge myself into this thing. It's rather cramped. Shoot on it. Must admit, I'm really impressed with that. Really impressed. It's got a slight miss. I'm going to get a set of spark plugs for it. As you can see, it's quite messy, but I've been recommissioning the old thing. Still got a few jobs to do. So at least 2 or 3 of you might be wondering what's the story behind this thing. And the story is simply that it's a friend of mine that I'm helping recommission, basically, because it has been sat on and off for about 20 something years in his barn, and it obviously fell into a state of disrepair and needed everything going through. So last week, like I said, I went through, renewed the water pump, because I think back in the summer, rewind a bit back to the summer, we went through it and see what it needed. It needed a radiator, which he had sat in his barn, so we popped that on. But the hoses were a bit crappy from being sat all them years. So we've got new hoses, new thermostat housing, new water pump. I went through and replaced the condenser and cleaned up the points, and had to re-time the whole car a couple of times, and then gap the points. So that was all done. So that's it's actually running really nice now. Slight miss because one of the spark plugs is quite old, so I'm just going to get a whole set of spark plugs. They're coming next week. Another job I need to do is this master cylinder, just out of shop there, because the brake pedal basically goes to the floor, and these are the early Girling Escort master cylinders that you can't buy anymore, or if you can, they're like £300. So there's a company not far from me actually called Pass Parts. They're in Bury St Edmunds, and they're not a sponsor. You take your brake master cylinder over to them and they will completely remanufacture it, and they can zinc coat it as well if you want, because I've had at least 2 of mine done by them in the past and they did a fantastic job. So after that it'll be front brake hoses will need doing, and she should be good then. I'm hoping that brake master cylinder will sort the brake problem out, because the pedal goes to the floor, as I said, sticks there. So we should be good really. It'd be really good to see this whole thing get out in the world and actually be used as a camper and driving. So here we go really. Right, here goes. Remove the ancient brake lines without them breaking. Do that spray. It's moving. There we go. Nice quick garage trick, heat and juice. Start to melt everything in the process. Look this up. Okie dokie. Going. Oh yes, look at that. Managed to do it without bending the brake line. Handy. Handy. That'll work. What relief. I think this car wants to live on. Because of muck and corrosion and old brake fluid and stuff in there, that's how long it's been leaking for. We'll get that cleaned up now. So I've got all that nicely cleaned up, and I've just got that can just protecting the end of that brake line. Here's the old master cylinder, absolutely knackered. Old as the car, so I shall get that off and get that refurbished. So it really is quite snug and basic in here. So there's your door handle, keep fit windows there. Your mirror, you have to adjust yourself. But at least it's a door mirror, not a wing mirror. Very basic speedo, and you got your temperature and fuel gauge in there. Someone's put a very funky 1980s stereo in there with a tape player. I don't know whether that works. Will it work? Oh, it does. No way. Wow, tinny. Lights, don't know if they work, but they're there. There's some strange, I have to open this door because it's too small to show you otherwise. Down there, look, there's some weird and wonderful switches. I don't know what they do. I don't know. What's it do? Anything? No, don't know. And you got, what's that? What was that? Oh, that's me washer. Look. Oh, so that turns it on. That button turns your washers on, and then that's a momentary button, and now it doesn't work. Oh, there we go. Come on. There we are. Well, I know that one does the wipers, but the ignition's not on. Turn the ignition on. Wipers, yep. You got your fans there, look. And that does your vent, windscreen floor, and your heat and your cold. Ashtray full of random stuff like you'd expect. Don't have a glove box on this one, just a basic little cubby hole in there. And just miscellaneous parts, because obviously we've been working on this thing. But check this out, yeah, you've got a pop-up like canopy there. I'll have to ask the owner how this works, because I'd love to get this actually put up, and loads of bits and bobs in the back. So yeah, I think it's well cool if we can get this on the road and get it to a show or something before it gets put up for sale, no less. Dormobile, Folkestone, England. Well, that's it from me for today's video. If you want to see this again, let me know, because it is a really cool little old thing. I have still got some jobs left to do. The brakes, obviously they need refurbishing, the master cylinder, the hoses, and hopefully we can take this thing out for a test drive and see how we get on. Cool. See you again in the next video.